Welcome back. Great job doing your first website evaluation without any help from me. Now I'm going to take you through the official process of judging the credibility of a website, and we're going to go through an example together. In order to make a website credibility judgment, you need to explore the website and collect some evidence. I've sorted this evidence into 4 main categories to make it easier for you to remember. The 4 categories of website evaluation are design, how does the website look? Authority, so who wrote or created the website? Content, which asks, can we trust the information on the site? Or purpose, which asks, why was the site created? Then there are specific questions within each of those categories, and I take you through a scavenger hunt. So you have the website open on one page, and then you have a survey with all of these questions on another. Now, I mentioned earlier that credibility falls on a scale. There are less credible websites and more credible websites, and of course, a lot that fall in between. When you first get onto a website, you start at a neutral position, which is somewhere in the middle of the scale. Then, as you collect evidence, you're pushed one direction or the other, and you go back and forth until you make a decision. Now we're going to practice. So I've gone ahead and done a website evaluation on the survey, and we're going to go through it together so you can really see what you're going to have to do for the remainder of these lessons. So to put it in context for you, your teacher has asked you to do some research on the plastic pollution crisis and how plastics are affecting the earth. You searched plastic pollution crisis in Google, and here's what came up. So you're going to click on this URL, and it's going to take you to a website that looks something like this. So the title of this article is, "We made plastic, we depend on it, now we're drowning in it." So there is obviously a crisis. So this National Geographic article is going to take you through the crisis, and it's going to tell you more about it. But we need to figure out whether this website is credible or not. So to figure it out, first we look at the design of the website. How does the website look? So you'll see here that I've gone through, and on each of the questions, I've made a selection of yes, no, or unsure. I really try not to use unsure because most of the time I can answer yes or no. Unsure is just kind of a waste if you go back and forth and you really have no idea. It's there just to kind of get you out of a jam. So first, do the colors and photo choices look professional? So I know these were all taken from professional photographers. The photographer's name is actually on there, and I looked him up, and I know that he's a legit photographer. So you can see here that these were all taken, here we go, in places around the world where the plastic crisis is happening. These were all taken by professional photographers. Nothing really looks photoshopped. Wow. It's a heart-wrenching picture. So I went ahead and said, yes, the photos and color choices look professional. In terms of color choices, it all matches, it all looks great. I don't worry about advertisements too much because they're very hard to control, and a lot of the times they're based on our personal browsing history, so I just ignore them. And then, is the website nicely organized and easy to navigate? Yes, I found this was the case. Are there any obvious spelling errors or typos? No. Is the layout consistent? Does it generally look the same from page to page? Now, I'll show you officially what this means. So at the top of each of the National Geographic pages on the website, there's this beautiful logo on the top left corner that says National Geographic, and there's a yellow box. And no matter where I click, this stays consistent. So you'll see here under the animals page that that logo is still there, and that there's a header, and it's all the same. It's yellow, grays, black, white, and then the photographs pop with color. Now this is consistent on every page I clicked on, so I said yes. Now, sometimes when I'm exploring the websites, there's something very exciting that I am dying to talk about that I find. Sometimes this is like a red flag, something that makes me feel a little bit uneasy, something that I think is exciting that I want to share, and I'm going to want to type that down here. In this case, the website is, I'll tell you right away, this website is credible. So it's not as exciting as some of the websites that you're going to be exploring here with me. But I'm going to type, the photos and color choices look professional. All of the colors on the site are black, white, and yellow, and the font is easy to read. The website is also nicely organized and easy to navigate. The headers are the same on every page. The National Geographic logo with the yellow box is at the top of everything I click on. Now, you don't have to type that much in these individual boxes, but it's to your benefit, and I'll show you why later. Then we look at the authority of the website. Who does it say wrote the website, and can you trust them? So if I go back to the website that I was on before with this news article, I can see that it was written by Laura Parker, and I Googled her name, and she came up here. She is a staff writer who specializes in covering climate change and marine environments. She works for National Geographic, and there's the logo. So this is a lady who I trust with the amount of information that I have. I think she's an expert. And yes, there's a way to contact her via her Twitter account. So I said all of that down here. I Googled her. She's been writing for National Geographic for years, and I can contact her via Twitter. And then we look at the content of the website. What about the information written all over the site? Can we trust it? We also look at dates here. If the information is from the 1980s, it's out of date, and this often matters to us. Now, does the website say when it was created? Yes. Does it say when it was last updated? Not officially, but I'm going to say yes here because this is a news article. So it says that it was written in June 2018, but I know that this website is being constantly updated. When I was browsing, I saw articles that were written today, yesterday, the day before. So there are people on this website all the time updating the material, updating the information, and making sure that the information is current. So I also confirmed that the information was correct by doing a Google search, and I looked that the links were relevant to the subject. So when I clicked on the links, or when I did Google searches about plastics and how we're drowning in plastics all over the world, I found stuff like this. This is also from National Geographic that just gives me a little bit more information, but I know that this information is true. And I trust it and believe it. I know based on my prior knowledge and based on other websites that I looked at that yes, plastic is a problem. So then I talk about that. I told you something special about the updated date. There is no official date, but I know that National Geographic is always being updated because they post new things every day. And then we look at the purpose of the website. The website is trying to educate me with real information. Is the author trying to sell me something? No. Do I think anything has been left out that can help me decide if it's credible or not? No. I think it's really credible. To be honest, so credible that for the purposes of this checklist is kind of boring, but it's trying to teach me about what plastics are doing to the environment. The purpose of the website is credible. The author didn't leave anything out. Now, tell me how credible you think this website is. Use the design, authority, content, and purpose of the website to explain your answer. This is where all of your marks are coming from. You make a lot of decisions based on your own personal feelings and exploration earlier on, but this is where you get to show me the things that you looked for, and this is where you're explaining to me whether you think this website is credible or not. So you can actually go back into those individual comments that you made and copy and paste them here in your final answer. So the more you wrote back there, the better. You can also fill it in with extra things you want to talk about. You can use the keywords of the design, authority, content, purpose. The sky's the limit. Just make sure that you type enough. Otherwise, it's going to block you from hitting next. Now, how credible is this website on a scale of 0 to 10? Now, I had mentioned earlier that this might have been a boring website to use for the demonstrations. The websites you're going to be looking at are going to be much more exciting because, yes, this website is a 10 for credibility. It's really, really hard to do, but I picked it because National Geographic is a really well-vetted website. It's completely legit, and I trust it about as much as you can trust a website. So now you're going to go back to the website that you were looking at before, and you're going to go through the survey and you're going to do this yourself.